All right. Now I always pick my wool first. This has been picked once through the picker, and there's still a little bit that might need to be teased open a little. And I did replace this drive band a few years back. This is actually for a Magicraft spinning wheel, but it fit perfectly and works better than the old drive band that came with it originally. It got stretched out over time. Haven't really used it that much, but it sat in storage for several years. And I resurrected it, but it just doesn't go fast enough for the volume of carding that I do now. It worked great for blending, which is what I bought it for originally years ago when I was doing smaller quantities or sampling. You can see how it is carding. It's like a second cut. No. Have to feed it with small quantities, otherwise if you overfeed it, it'll gag and it gets locked up and doesn't do what you want. This is adjustable with these two bolts. I don't remember ever adjusting it, but if you found that you needed to, that's how you do it. You loosen them up, and there's a little slit here and here. When you loosen this up, then this can move back and forth, and you can get it closer to the big drum or farther away depending on what you need. I'm not sure how much fiber I have here. I'm going to try to do all of it, and then I will take it off as a bat. I usually diz it off of my electric, but it's my bigger one. It goes so much faster. But I'm not going to diz this off because I really need two hands to diz, and this one's manual. Never did master dizzing with one hand. But if you have a helper to turn the crank while you're dizzing on this, that would be ideal if you want to diz off roving. Otherwise, you can take it off as a bat and then strip the bat down into strips for roving. And that's basically what I would do with my sampling. Got to tease it every now and then, a little more, even though it's been picked only once though. This is a longwool fleece. The staple length is about 6 inches. But it's actually a Cornwall Merino Lincoln Wensleydale cross. So it's long, but it's actually pretty fine wool and rather soft. Almost there. And this one doesn't have a brush on the top. If you were going to do bigger bats than what I'm doing today, You might want to have a hand carder or a dog brush so that you could pack it every now and then to keep it from flying away or getting unruly. Alright, that's the last of my picked fiber. And you can see that this first drum is fairly clean still. And then you take it off. Here's the metal strip that goes across that holds down the carding cloth onto the big drum. And you slide this under and gently lift as you go. And again, this is a very long wool, so I have to kind of wiggle it back and forth to get that full staple length off. And again, I'm trying to keep it as a contiguous back. Come on, there we go. And then just put it in reverse. Wind it off. Depending on the quality of your fleece, the quality of the cleaning and the preparation of the fleece before it gets to this point will help determine the quality of your bat. And if you're new to carding, it all comes with practice. Alright, I'm back at the seam. That's the end of the bat. And as you can see, it's fairly neat. If this was a shorter staple fiber, I might have to put it through a second or even third time, depending on the fleece and its condition. I don't know if you can see, but there's very little noils or anything in the fleece. There's a little section that didn't get completely carded, but overall, it turned out pretty decent. And for roving, you can take a strip it down one direction while it's still connected. You can strip it down the other direction. I don't know if this is showing up well or not. And then strip it down the other direction. I'm not doing this very neatly. I'm trying to do it in a hurry to get this before my camera battery goes dead on me. There you go, and then you can kind of stretch it out. Certainly you'd want to do it a little neater than I am today. Although this doesn't look too bad, it's definitely spinnable the way it is. Oop, hitting the dirty garage floor. Let me pull that back up. Wind it up. And almost a ball of roving in a matter of minutes. And here we are. There we go. And this is what the fleece looked like before I picked it. So it went from this, it went from this to this. And again, it's about 10 inches wide and, let's see, 12, about almost 18 inches long. And not including the handle that sticks out, of course. And then to the top of the drum, we are looking at about 8 inches. So it's 10 by 8 by 18. And there you have a sampling of the Ashford Drumcarder.